Hello and welcome, and thanks for joining us. You are listening to the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast. I am James Whelan, Managing Director, all round good guy, poodle owner, dark sitter, Barclay Pierce Capital's wealth management team, joined here by a very good friend and colleague of mine and absolute legend of a South Australian, Heath, Felicity Moss,
Felicity.
Walker, investor, father, hero. How are you now, Heath, mate? What's going on?
I think you've got a bit far there with the hero, but yeah, very well, mate. Very well, man. It feels like it's been forever since we've done this.
Yeah, it
What
has.
do we
It's been a
do?
good break, mate. Good break.
Yep, yeah, it
Good break.
has.
I tell you, hang on, I got to do two things. First off, I can sit. I'm sitting in the dark here. For anyone who's listening on the radio side, I'm sitting in the dark. It's actually quite annoying actually. Take off your
You,
martini.
you don't.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the lights on. Okay, Google, studio on, and we've done this. Yes, look at that,
Beautiful,
bang, and
beautiful.
then and then there was light.
That's AI.
Thank you very much.
That's AI.
That's not that's old school voice control. I'm wearing my old Before Pay t-shirt, which we
Yeah.
got when we listed the company,
Mm.
and it then proceeded to lose about 90% of its market cap
Yeah, it did.
over the space of a couple of months. Didn't we look great? That was
Yeah, but I mean,
sensational.
but in fairness, it's turning into a decent little company in terms of revenues and profits, etc. It is cash flow positive now and
Yep.
looking good. It's not a space I'm in. I haven't touched any of the buy now, pay later since probably COVID.
Yeah.
But Zip has done well at the same time as well, has moved up nicely in share price. So the whole
Yeah. Zip
space looks better.
Zip got a kick. Zip got a real kick yesterday. Yeah. So Before Pay, the vindication from Before Pay that I've received. This wasn't the point of the podcast, but the vindication I've received of Before Pay finally becoming a company that we said it was going to be has been quite good. I have exited some of the stock. I mean, that we're in for clients, and that's good. We're still quite substantial, not substantial holders. We are holders of the company in a size which is enough to matter. Which is good. I'm very happy with it. They've moved into this whole business to business thing. It's just the model is fantastic. Avanti is the one that we're currently really keen about
Mm.
here.
Yeah, OVT is their code, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that we see that as being like coming off a very low base, big American move. Got a lot of faith in the head of that company. There's a start off with full disclosure. I hold it, clients hold it. We
Mm.
are working with the company on corporate activity, so there's no BS in this one. We are close to this company, so you can understand that this advice is not in there at all, mate. I'm about to drop a what appears to be the wakey wakey that was released for Pride Month. I think. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a
I mean,
rainbow,
you
very
can't have a rainbow
festive.
flag. You can't have a rain. Not this. I got no view, but you can't have a rainbow flag on anything without it making it seem like it's for Pride Month. Maybe they just did it because the colours are like that, but it isn't weird. Anyway,
Mm. Mm.
yeah, we got the wakey wakey, which is kicking on here as well. I've also got some pain away sent out here
Pain
too.
away.
Good for muscles, heat joint muscle pain relief spray.
Is that
Um,
what they when you go out and you watch like a soccer game and the guy runs out when someone's injured and sprays something on there, like that's what that stuff is?
if it's I think it's if it's the AFL because they did sponsor the AFL.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
It could. It's. I think they've also got that icy spray that they use on there as well.
yeah, yeah.
That's a question for Robbie. Um, it's I now anyone who asks me anything about football, my kid has 1,000 questions about footballers and contracts and what do they do here and where they go there. And I'm just like, you know what? One of the 8,000 athletes that just hang around this joint at any particular time of day. You know, I met the former North Sydney legend that sort of just walked through the office yesterday, just out of the blue, just like it's nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. Anyway, I'm about to drop one of these wakey. I just put Annika now onto the phone with a former player. Um, that's my youngest daughter. It's just like look, and they love to handle the inane questions of an 11-year-old
Yeah.
It's just she's like, okay, so what is this? And it's like, okay, and then we put the boots on this way, and this is why we the tape it like this, and this is what happens with our contracts, and just a thousand of these little silly little questions that she's got. They love it. It's fantastic.
Mm.
I
Fantastic.
love working here, and I love this place. I love the people that are around here.
Excellent.
Uh, Now I'm going to try some of this pain away here as well, mate. What's the latest with you? What's cracking?
Not much, mate. Not much. Christmas was good, quiet. It was smaller than usual because sister-in-law got food poisoning
Yikes!
on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
So she couldn't join us. So But yeah, it's very quiet, and we haven't really had a car to use for the last probably month because we had just the second day before school finished, the engine started overheating and the aircon started
Yeah.
getting hot. But it turns out the compressor and the condenser fan were shot, and we had to
Ooh.
wait about a month for them to get parts and stuff in it. It was finally fixed this week, so we can
No
start.
parts in Adelaide. The irony
No,
that Adelaide used to that Adelaide, the South Australia used to be a car building state,
yes,
and then
yes,
now you can't get parts. What sort of car?
a Kia Carnival. So
Oh, okay, right.
all under warranty, thank God, because without it,
Yeah.
it would have cost 6 to 7 grand to fix. So it was just, yeah,
Looks
it
like
was
we both had car trouble over the
very,
time.
very hot to drive in at the moment in Adelaide, as you can imagine, being probably the hottest state in Australia, driest, and it really limited what we could do with the kids. So it was a lot of stuff around the home, short trips there and there. But
Blows my mind.
overall, good and relaxing. We're going to make the use of the car for the rest of the school holidays, which is only less than 2 weeks now.
Mate, I am already in holiday mode myself. I'll be sunning myself at the Hilton Fiji, getting on a plane next week because I basically worked through, although I was at the beach house,
Yep,
I did work. I let everyone because I was just like, look, I'll be on call. Any clients put them through to me. That's going to go through. I'll be monitoring the inbox. I'll be monitoring. We got any trades. And so I'm talking to the DTRs at the back office provider that we
yep,
use, Morrison's. I was the guy, so the people could actually take time with their families and actually have let the kids. I work them. They work hard. I don't work them. They work
yep,
hard because they want to. But when they get time off, take time off because you come back refreshed. And so I've done that. This week, next week is going to be my time. I'm putting
yep,
my phone in the safe. It's going to be, I'm contactable for half an hour in the morning. I'm contactable for half an hour at night.
yep,
Please make it then. My out of office will actually be on. I haven't set my out of office. I can't remember the last time I actually turned my out of office on because I
yep.
never turn it on. We have a policy of everyone turns it on because when clients should know when you're in and when you're not.
Mm,
I never do because my phone is always on and my phone is always there and people want to contact me. They can. This next week is actually going to be a time when I'm actually uncontactable. So it's going to be. Um,
fantastic.
I'm sure I'll break. But anyway, mate, we hit an animal going down. We're just 10 minutes out of Bombala.
Yep,
A dead
yep,
animal in the middle of the road. Cracked the fuel tank. We've run out of
yeah.
fuel. 4.5 hours for a tow truck driver to come and get us because it was Boxing Day.
Boxing
So
Day.
my dog almost died in my
Yeah,
wife's lap because we're sitting in the midday sun for 4.5 hours waiting for the tow truck guy to get here because
yep,
anyway, I would have had to buy a house in Cooma. But anyway, it's all been fixed up and patched up. We got away, mate. We finally got to the destination. We had a beautiful 2 weeks there. Like I said, I was working through for a chunk of it, but it didn't mean that we couldn't get the boat out, have a bit of fun, everything like that, mate. Now let's crack into it because that's enough of the shenanigans. I'm
yep.
going to try some of this wakey wakey, which I've spilt all over the table.
Yeah, I've
Um,
let the team down with Wakey Wakey. I ran out. I forgot to get some more. I'm
Mate, I'll
now.
get George to send you some.
Oh,
Okay,
beautiful.
I've just used um, the pain away on my elbow,
Yep,
and it is a real strong like that heat that you can
yep.
feel going in there. I got something's wrong with my bicep. I'm actually gonna get for once. I'm
It's
actually
just
gonna
an
go and get it looked at.
excuse. It's just an excuse to
So no,
shock the guns.
I can't fix it. What? Does that offend you? Mate,
No.
let's talk about gold.
Yep, yep. Hang on.
I'm
I'll
so
just get the screen up. Where are we?
okay.
I've lost my screen. There it is. I'll share it. Beautiful.
Good man.
All right,
Okay.
that's not gold. I'll get gold up. We'll go
Well,
come back to.
let's. It's a go. Do your market wrap. I'm not going to tell you what
Yep,
to do, but if you do your market wrap, that's good. But I know that you and I have both got a big focus on gold this
yep,
week, as does everyone else. I have received about 8 different broker gold notes on it.
yep.
Funnily enough, there's only 5 gold stocks listed in Australia. It turns out, and everyone's investing in the same ones.
Well, that's good for
Go.
us, isn't it? Yeah.
It's great for us, but
So,
yeah.
so what we've got up on the screen is the usual SPX.
Mm.
Since what was that? Since mid-December, we had that Santa rally at the start of December. That's given back almost all their gains from the what do you call it? The election. There, you can see in early November. That's when the election was. Around what'll be around 5,875. Rallied to about 6,100. Now we're back at 5,900. So it's been a choppy start. Well, since this mid December, it's been choppy. I've got some numbers here. Where are we? All right, so the SPX is only up, only I say only up 1.4% for the year. Nasdaq only 0.5%. XJO is up 2% for the year to start with. But I got a really good stat for you. So I heard this last night on a podcast. So when the first 5 days of the year for the SPX are positive, out of the last 49 times that has happened, 41 of those times the year has finished positive with an average return of 14%.
That's a Carson. That's a Carson stat, isn't
Yep, it is. It is. Ben Carson
He's
from
good, mate.
Ritholtz Wealth Management, I think it is.
Credit where it's due. His seasonality is great. The funny thing is that it's always bullish, and that's because the market usually goes up.
Exactly.
Over any period, the market is up. That's the way. It's like, but I do like the way it's just like these are the actual stats that he does. Going back to 1960. Yeah.
Scroll out.
So what happens in the first few days dictates the rest of the year. Which is fair. I said, mark my words, I did say that January was going to be weaker.
Yep.
After that December, that I think that anything sort of in December was like just waiting. The selling was. I don't think there was a huge amount of buying that had to come in December that needed to push it up because the market had gone so strongly. But I think that any selling was held off. So if you put it like this, the Christmas rally that people said that we didn't really get was really more of a Christmas non-selling.
Yeah,
so,
and it's all to do with their tax year. Their tax year ends on the 31st of December. So a lot of times, if you've got gains that you want to take, you wait until the first or second first trading day of January, and you take them then because you don't want to carry that capital gain into your previous year. And you can see that there. Generally, the start of January, the January overall is really, really mixed. I was looking back on January's and for the SPX, and you got some -5s and -6s in there. In January, and you can see that big down day we had there. I think that was down 2.5% there on the. Well, that's December. Sorry,
everyone lost their minds. Anyway,
but
we've almost got it all back.
Okay, so reasoning and reasoning why the Nasdaq has lagged is these babies, the yields. We can see here yields went absolute nuts from around mid-December up until last week, end of last week. We had yields skyrocket from about, these are 10 years, 4.25% to 4.8%. And that was obviously because of stronger US data, rates being priced out of the market, yada, yada, yada. All that whole, Trump's policies being inflationary, which I don't totally buy into. I'm not 100% on that bandwagon. But yeah, they pushed yields right up. Rates were chopped out. And valuations had to be adjusted. And that's why we saw the Nasdaq here has underperformed the SPX because obviously growth stocks are hit harder when it comes to rate sensitivity. So 10 years,
even though, if I'm going to keep cutting in, I'm sorry, because I like this back and forth, the whole thing that we're going to do. Even though technically those stocks, the big names, as in Meta and that sort of, yields don't matter. I've seen the work that's been done on that. They can go in and just get their own money.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care about borrowing.
Microsoft's sitting on $130 billion of cash, and they're going to spend $80 billion on AI and capex this year alone. I mean, they don't have to worry about, but their customers do. So obviously, if their customers come out and rates are starting to impact their businesses, then they're going to spend less with these mega caps, less advertising, less hardware, all that sort of stuff.
But it's not a the future cash flow DCF, all that doesn't apply. Oh, having a can of worms here. It doesn't apply to those big names on that with that regard. Anyone who is just like, the tech stocks came off because yields changed. It's like I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And for the other 93 stocks in the Nasdaq 100, maybe, but not for the big 7. So so that's what we saw. Obviously, we got Trump being inaugurated. When are we? Tuesday our time, I think it is, because it's the 20th.
No, it'll be on a Tuesday, so it'll be So it's the middle. It's like 1 a.m. or something on that Tuesday. I think it is. Oh, okay. It's an insane time.
Yeah, just after my birthday. My birthday's Sunday, so anyone that wants to send
your birthday Sunday.
Yeah.
I will send you a joyous bon anniversaire from the Hilton Fiji. I'm going to be sponsored by the Hilton Fiji.
Hilton Fiji. I have to do a podcast from the poolside.
I'm such a brand whore. It's okay. What do you got?
You are. And then of course, this has also been another major talking point is the US dollar DXY absolutely on a tear. Seen some softness with those yields coming down. Obviously, if yields are going to be close to 5% in the US, people, risk free, people are going to dive into the US to get that exposure. So
You
the
better
US
believe
dollar's
it,
been
baby.
on a tear from.
I'm going to show you something here too. Wait, I'm going to show you something here too.
All right, I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, good.
There we go.
This is, you got it? I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing it like
coming up.
this.
There
Look
we go.
at
No,
that.
other
Okay.
side, other side. Beautiful.
Like that.
Yep.
This is the credit market suggests stocks are overpriced. The S&P 500 earnings yield is low relative to triple B bonds. This came out of straight out of Bloomberg, and I'll read you what it would have been David Ingles who wrote the difference between the S&P 500's earnings yield and triple B rated corporate bond yield has dropped to minus 1.9%, which is the lowest in 15 years, basically except for one instance, the lowest in 23 years. The gap, again, the gap between S&P 500's earnings yield and the triple B rated corporate bond yield is fallen by 4% in the last 5 years as US rates have risen sharply. In other words, less risky investment grade corporate bonds, triple B, now pay a higher yield than S&P 500's profits relative to their stock prices. Is the market overvalued? I would say that if you can get the same return just from a dividend perspective, if you can get the same return from just going into triple B rated investment grade bonds, then you can from chucking into what is in effect a risky asset class, riskier asset
stocks.
class in stocks. You do it.
Mm-hmm.
But will people do that? Yeah, it's just more of a reason to be like, I'm not going to plow aggressively into this market at this particular area.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that I've got a lot of metrics here that say it is overvalued. I was on Ausbiz yesterday saying that. I think that people should invest in gold.
But at the same time, which I will move to gold and say, same time.
Oh, come on, man. Okay.
Credit spreads are at their lowest, suggesting that the economy is fine, everything is fine. Maybe stocks aren't as expensive as first thought. And PEG ratios, so price to earnings to growth ratios, especially for the Bank 7, are quite low. So, anyway, all right, we'll move to gold. We'll move to gold.
It's a segue. The segue that you could have, because unbelievable. The segue is that you just talked about the dollar index. Yep. The dollar index is the driver of this thesis at the moment. Keep in mind also that I've got a Macquarie note on gold. I've got a UBS note on gold. I've got Citi and Goldman Sachs both put out a gold upgrade over the last couple of days. Guess what our research department, our amazing shiny research department that we've got, guess what note they've come out with this week that's going to hit the shelves on Monday? Guess what asset class?
Maybe gold.
It's on gold. It is the most exuberant market that I could possibly imagine, just based on the fact that everyone is talking about gold this week.
When we say gold, we're saying gold in AUD
gold,
as well.
We're gonna okay. So you sell me this pen. Talk to me about gold and how I should buy it, why I should buy it. Go.
All right. So we all know gold, how well gold went yesterday. Last year in 24, returned 25% plus. It was a really good year for gold, but gold equities, especially Australian gold equities, really didn't do as well. I think the bigger guys were up to 15% higher, which was good, but really lagged the gold price. And that was mainly because costs for mining were still going up. Until about halfway through last year, they were still going up according to quarterlies and profits, etc. They've flattened right out and maybe even started to come down now. So what's also happened since the start of December is the Australian dollar, as we all know, has dived from around 67 to 61, 62. So this is important for Australian gold miners, because when they're selling gold, they're usually doing it in US dollars, and then when they're reporting, they're converting back to Australian dollars. And because the Australian dollar has fallen, it means on a currency basis, they actually earn more on an earnings basis. So if we look at gold here in
Do you want to
US dollars,
say that again? Say that again for the kids at the back.
So when they're selling gold, they're generally selling it in US dollars. And when they convert that back to Australian dollars for a reporting and earnings basis, obviously when the Australian dollar drops from 67 to say 61, you're getting more Australian dollars per US dollar than you were previously. So then earnings are higher just on a current currency basis. So even though gold in the US dollars is still below previous highs and has done all right, it's around 2,600 to 2,700 there. in Australian dollar terms, it's at $4,400 roughly Australian. So, and these guys are producing in the low 2000s Australian. So margins have expanded substantially. And what's happened is brokers, because this has happened since maybe the end of November, start of December, brokers have not caught up yet with their assumptions. Most of their assumptions for the Australian dollar are around the 65 to 67. So they will have to lower them. I saw Macquarie lower theirs to about 63 for next year, which is probably right. Well, this year, sorry, for full year 25. But yeah, equities are going to play catch up. There's going to be a re-rating and there's going to be a push upwards with Australian gold producers. So that's where I think it's going to come from. As long as the gold price doesn't dive, which I don't think there will, it will. Yep, go for it.
It does. It does depend on that. And the basis of my thesis, and I was on Ausbiz saying it's just, I mean, Andrew, you can see the exasperation in Andrew trying to interview someone like me. I am completely incapable of shutting up.
You like to tell a story.
I spin a yarn, as everyone knows. I spin a yarn, but I also talk about a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. Because when I watch Ausbiz, I'm like, it's fairly. I'm not. I think it's Ausbiz is great. It's super important, and it is
very important. Yes.
My father-in-law. My father-in-law is the reason why I've supported Ausbiz so much, because he's like, I didn't have anywhere to get. Like when Sky Business shut down, he's just like, where am I getting my news from now? And he needs that sort of flowing on the side, just go and flick on. So Ausbiz is good. That's why I support it. But I talk about a lot of the stuff in the background, because we do send, you pre-send your notes and they pre-send it and they load up the images, and I'm talking. It's the Ausbiz format of go on, talk your book or talk about some things, finish it. Yep. Okay, great. You've got your 3 images or whatever it is. I can't stand that format. Yep. I think the idea of you got to sharpen it up, make it more interesting, make it fun, actually have some sort of like a battle of a conversation between the whole thing. And I try and spice it up with some of this sort of thing as well. And so I will talk. I'll talk to the producer, because I know he's listening. You're in the studio in there at Barangaroo, and I'll actually say if the producer could just pull up, I break the wall of the little theatre sort of thing like that. And Andrew is very exasperated by the whole thing. I will talk to people. I will make a lot of hilarious jokes that are on there as well. I can be a little bit cynical with regards to what it is. In this regard, on Ausbiz yesterday, all of the notes that have come out, UBS, my own note, I think you as well, putting out your stuff, but also the biggest houses that are around putting out this gold note and saying, here are our preferred stocks to go into. It's the same 5 names.
Well, there aren't
There's only 5 stocks. There's only 5 stocks you can invest in if you want to buy a gold company in Australia.
Yeah, and we had the largest taken over last year.
In no particular order. Shall we go through what those particular names are?
No worries. All right, I will go through a semi-order, because this is my favorite one, Gold Road.
Okay,
and we can see the move there already. It's broken out a little bit. Maybe we get to retest that. I think we see some weakness over the next few trading days. Good opportunity to get in. But basically, I'm going to bring up my notes so I can read off them. So Gold Road own the Gruyere gold project 50-50 with another company. Yeah. So as a joint venture, they're producing around 290,000 ounces in the last year from that. They're going to produce around 350,000 ounces in 2025. They're doing a calendar year production report. Now, this is a good thing. They have no debt and they're unhedged. So they get full advantage, take full advantage and full upside of that Australian gold price. And if the Australian dollar continues to fall, or even it just stays where it is and gold stays where it is, their margins, etc., will expand. So this is where the catch up comes in, and analysts will start. I think they're waiting for their production reports, which I think happen next week. They'll get the production reports and redo their numbers, lower the Australian dollar on it, and increase their assumptions, and that will see another wave of, I think, buying on market for Australian gold producers. So Gold Road is my number one, 160 million in cash on hand. 72 million of that was made last quarter. So you can see how profitable it is now. They also have a $800 million stake in De Grey. Now, De Grey has received a takeover offer from Northern Star, so eventually that will be cashed in. So you're only paying, what are they, a $2.5 billion company. It's really only a $1.7 billion company, because they've got 800 million sitting there that they'll likely get in cash or script at one stage. And they've got about 4 million in ounces in reserve. So really long life sort of stuff, mid-tier sort of gold producer. But I think they look really good, really undervalued, and could be a takeover target themselves. And actually, I will preface this saying all these stocks that we talk about, I personally and my clients do hold. So there is a bit of bias there.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I put out a note on Monday, advising, not advising, yes, I can say advising, saying that we like this stock, and if you want to go in and buy, and that was Gold Roads.
Yep.
So
The second,
if you want to indicate the buying area, it was at the start of that big green bar at the start of the
yep.
week.
Back
And
to it. Sorry. Oh,
I'm about to put out a note now saying the trade is done, because we do this little trading on the side.
yep.
Just keep your hand in, make a little bit of money for clients. I'm
Yep.
okay. I'm okay. Just take a bit off the table there
Yeah,
now for Gold Road.
I bought myself and clients around this 220 mark. That's what
Yep.
we're about 234 at the moment. So there's a bit of profit there. Again,
Yep.
the breakout is obvious. I think it comes back and tests that. That will give us another opportunity. But I think this plays out over the next 3 to 6 months or so. As long as the gold price doesn't dive, I can't see a reason for that to happen.
Which you have said, and you're on the record saying that gold will never go down. So that's take that to the bank, my friends.
I think
That's
your
Heath Moss.
your pants are on fire.
Heath Moss, gold will never ever go down. Okay, if you have a problem, okay.
Next
I'm
one
joking.
is Northern Star.
Yeah.
Australia's largest producer now that Newcrest is off the boards. What about 1.8 million ounces a year, 1 billion in net cash. They're the guys taking over De Grey, DEG, $5 billion takeover. And that Hemi project from De Grey, very attractive, 500,000 ounces of production in 27 or 28.
Tier one. And the Hemi project is a tier one low cost. This is according to my research department, who I love. Tier one low cost, long life. It's selling a liter of milk. Low cost, long life gold development with mineral resources of 11.2 million ounces and ore reserves of 6 million ounces. Wow. Forecast annual gold production is 530,000 ounces for the first 10 years. That's a good asset. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit me.
And I
that's just a heavy project.
Forgot to say with Gold Road, they're only trading at a forward P of 10 times. Northern Star trading at a forward P of 13 times. So a little bit of a premium there, which is deserved. They're the biggest, they're the best. 1 billion in net cash and 3.3 billion in total liquidity. So Northern Star more than likely will be be on the lookout for more takeovers, because they're using scrip to take over DEG. So so they will be looking for someone else, I think. The last one, little bit more riskier, Bellevue Gold. This is more of, you can see here, it's really poor performance, hit around $2.12 Bellevue Gold BGL. It's about $1.10.
Was this one of Tolga's stock?
Yes,
it was. Tolga, this is a Tolga
he started
thing.
this at like 3 cents.
Yeah, it took off at listing, because I remember this when it listed and everyone was talking about Tolga and going, everything he touches. I remember talking to some of the old guys at Shaw's, and they were just like, if it's Tolga, we're just going on to it without actually asking, because we know that the market's just going to pick it up. And I just thought, that's dangerous. But I don't mind that theory sometimes. When it's hot, it's hot, right?
He started his empire with the graphite guys, Syria Resources, SYR.
Syria Resources, yep.
This is the second one. I think he's still in it. I'm pretty sure he's still a major holder.
I'll ask him, send him a message.
Yeah. But again, these guys have come off simply because they missed production targets. Costs were higher than expected. But this is going a little bit against the grain of GOR and North Star, because these are ramping up. They've only just started production last year, so they're still ramping up. They've hit some harder rock, so mining has slowed down from about 300 meters a month per jumbo to 270. But what's on the other side of that is really high grade, high quality stuff. So they think by the end of this financial year, they'll hit their run rate of around 200,000 ounces per year. What else? They got about $100 million in debt. They paid off about a big chunk of that at the end of last year. Cash is of 81 million. Will produce this financial year around 150 to 165,000 ounces. That's down from 160 to 180. But again, I think there's a re-rating to come there as their ramping up continues. Again, they'll benefit from the lower Australian dollar. And they do have some hedging, which is a bit of a pain because I prefer non-hedged. But I think there's a big re-rating to come there. Again, only 1.54 billion could be a target themselves. Have around 1.5 million in reserves, but that's likely to grow with 3.2 million in resources. So they'll upgrade that. So that's Bellevue Gold around $1.10 at the moment, which I'd be happy jumping in at that price. So yeah, so it's really, like I said, it's about that Australian dollar. The longer the Australian dollar remains lower, and we've had a little kick up over the last week or so on the back on the US dollar falling away, but I think the Australian dollar remains quite low because obviously the US economy and US exceptionalism, etc., are the flavor of the month. So yeah, that's my play.
Get behind it. Well done.
Yeah.
I don't have any more to add. I'm good with that. I don't want to. If you want to know more about the gold stuff, then reach out to either myself or Heath,
Yep.
or any one of the 8,000 brokers that have put out research on it this week as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're not Robinson Crusoe. You're not Robinson Crusoe out there with a long gold thesis, guys. Okay, don't make yourself seem as if you're original. The trade is that everyone is in it.
Exactly.
The squeeze is on.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Okay. That's all I've got to add.
We'll quickly cover oil, which is looking good.
Oils. Gee, it reversed, didn't it? Wow.
Yes, so those US sanctions came in on Russia and European gas. If you look at gas, oils, what are we, 78 at the moment? Actually, I was watching Landman last night. Great show. I was going
to do a Landman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one are you up to?
Spoilers. Episode 4. I won't say anything apart from where he's sitting at the bar with the lawyer and he talks about the perfect price of oil.
Isn't that just such a good? I love the way that you could learn so much just about $70, $76, $77. That's a sweet spot.
Yeah, and that's where we're at the moment. 78.
That's the sweet spot. You can print. Yeah, we're still printing money. Doesn't hurt people at the pinch. Doesn't hurt the companies down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've spoken to guys in the industry over there, and they're saying it's fairly accurate. The show, without the drama, it depicts the industry fairly accurately over there in Texas. So it's a great show. If you haven't watched it, it's from the producers of Yellowstone. It's basically Yellowstone instead of horses. It's oil rigs.
In oil, and it's a pretty accurate representation. Having been around some of those things in a past life, it's a pretty accurate representation of just how hard that life is. And how much danger you are being put in every single day to be able to get stuff out that is used in everything. And thank you very much to the brave
and these guys working on the
soldiers
oil rigs.
out there working on the oil rigs. Whatever. I just got a text message for it. Okay,
getting about 180K a year, and they're probably being underpaid given the danger of the job. So oil's looking really good, and that's really cold winter in the US now. Texas could experience freezing again, apparently.
Yes,
it's getting cold.
Remember when Ted Cruz took his family down to Mexico and everyone else was under snow? What an idiot. Okay,
well, at least it's not Hawaii, and then you've seen natural gas, the Widowmaker. Friggin' hell, that's gone up 4.27. You had a trade last year where I think it was here. You said no, it was around here, so around 260.
This is going to be whatever it is going to be absolute BS. You're going to put some words in my mouth here.
You said you were long natural gas.
I'm a buyer of natural gas.
It was around 260 to 280, and it went to around 3, and then dove back down to $2. And you said,
where I got
I'm out.
Margin. Yeah, for sure. I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
It's the Widowmaker for a reason.
But you get snapped on that one.
Yeah, and now it's gone from $2 to $4.27.
Strong as an ox, man.
And that's to do with gas being cut off, the Russian gas being cut off from the EU as well as of the 1st of January. So they're looking towards America to fill that gap for their LNG and gas imports because basically they've got nothing. Their reserves are coming down faster than they have in the last 5 years. So gas and obviously players like Woodside here in Australia and the fuel ETF here in Australia are really good exposures to natural gas.
They are. So, all right, we're over time here, mate. Come on.
We're over time. We're gonna head out. Footy. We're coming towards the end of the NFL season. Very pointy end.
Yes, it's the best time of year, mate. I'm doing that. I'm doing hard 75.
Oh,
75 hard, whatever it is, which is supposed to be 75 days. I hate being controlled by an app I'm only doing it, and I've said I don't care about the whole. You're not allowed one day off. You can't have a cheat day because I hate being controlled by an app. Just because you got a podcast, don't tell me what to do, pal. Um, in February, in the month of February, I will be Super Bowl partying,
Yep.
as I do, and yeah, so that's my day. That's my day off in February, which I'm going to be doing. That's my
Yep.
cheat day. Who have you got, mate? In coming up?
I think this week's game between the Bills and Ravens determines who wins the Super Bowl. I think
Okay.
I've got the Bills to win that at $2. They're underdogs for some reason. But even if Ravens win, Lamar Jackson, they're just a phenomenal team. I think they can get over the Chiefs because the Chiefs will come from the other side, obviously. So yeah,
Yeah, I know.
they
I
get all
think
the
the
luck.
Chiefs are totally defeatable. The Chiefs
Yeah.
are totally defeatable.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We've all seen those TikToks with all the luck they've had during the season in terms of ref calls and the way the balls bounced and hit posts and stuff like that. It's just been
yep,
phenomenal. So I
yep,
think they get rolled come Super Bowl.
I agree. I'm on that. Yeah, the Lions. I like the Lions. I like the Chiefs.
Oh, the Lions, yeah, yeah,
I like the Lions. I like the Lions, Chiefs, Eagles. Just put those three together. There's three to winners. Okay, that's my pick as well.
beautiful.
Bills, Ravens, mate. I'm not going to have any money on. We've got the college. The college final is on as well. I'm making sure
Oh,
they
yeah,
put it on. The Hilton Fiji will be having it on at the poolside TV, where I'll be
fantastic.
syncing Fiji. I'm also going to post because you can order to the poolside bar from the app.
Yep,
Anyone can make an order. I'm going to post. I'm going to put it on Twitter and see if anyone wants to buy me a Fiji beer, Fiji Gold.
yep,
I'll be sinking some Fiji Golds watching the college game as well. Notre Dame, massive outsiders against Ohio. The Buckeyes, I really think that Notre Dame could pull this off. Notre
yep.
Dame could pull this off. It's going to be a cracking game. I don't care what happens. It's just going to be that. That's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy this time.
I think next year, Belichick, the old Patriots, he's moved to North Carolina, so they may
Yep.
be a force next year. We'll have to watch that. I mean, I
They
follow North Carolina simply because of the basketball. That's where MJ came from, and have always liked North Carolina. So
It's such a lovely
yeah,
blue color. I know.
yeah,
I
the
support them because of
teal.
that lovely blue color as well. One of Tessa in our events team. She's a North Carolina um, person. She's from
Yep.
that. She's from that
Oh
state.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think she went there. Yeah, she ran for them.
Okay.
So yeah, she was a Div 1 runner.
Wow.
So yeah, she's got all the stuff. And so yeah, we yeah, it's good. I like supporting them. It's a beautiful blue color and it's a good
Yeah.
part of the world. Matt, that's all I've got.
Fantastic. That's it. I'm done too.
Thanks everyone for joining us today. We will catch you next week. I know we won't catch you
No,
next
no,
week. We'll catch
week
you
after.
every fortnightly. And by the time I get back, I'm going to have the new format all sorted out, signed, sealed, and delivered. Global X Ensemble. Everyone's on board. I got not OKX. OCG, Oceanic Consultancy Group.
Beautiful.
They're going to be on for the compliance corner as well. And we're going to be able to really let loose with some of the stuff that we can do. It's going to be amazing. The big show is going to be solid. So thank you very much for everyone who's helped out with this one. And we're going to go. I look forward to having you as being a big part of that as well, my friend. Have yourself a
Thank
good
you
day.
very much. It's been great.
Talk to you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.